Welcome to the United States of Paranormal Podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden J, coming to you once again from Golden Mojo Entertainment Complex. And another brilliant episode from Team Booisers. But Team Booisers is not all here today. Alicia couldn't make it with some scheduling conflicts, but she will be back next episode. So today I brought in a ringer. The Ringer. We call her the Rocker Chic. It's Bobby. Say hi.
Hi.
Are you doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to get into that microphone and show it some love.
I hear you.
You're very quiet.
I can hear myself just fine. I think you're deaf.
I am deaf. We took a little road trip yesterday, and we went to Bronner's in Frankenmuth, Michigan. And I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but it's like the world's largest Christmas store. And they just have rows and rows and rows of Christmas ornaments. I mean, they're everywhere. But the intensity of that place in my ears I thought I was deaf before. It wasn't that it was loud. It was just, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. It was so much in my ears. I felt like I couldn't hear anything. And
It's all that Christmas music, probably. You enjoy that so much.
I love the Christmas music. Not. Actually, I'm pretty excited for Christmas to be over.
Not yet. Not yet.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure that I'm ready for it to be over.
No, we still got like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
We did do a bunch of Christmas shopping on the ride home from
Yes, we did.
Ain't nothing like a little bit of Amazon Christmas shopping.
Gotta love it. Don't have to go anywhere. Just hit the button and it shows up.
Yeah. Hopefully it shows up on time.
Better.
There is that problem. You just never know what you're going to run into. But yeah, we took a little road trip to the world's largest Christmas store. It was fun. We went with Gunnar and Sarah, and it was a good time.
It was. I enjoyed it.
We did happen to stop at a restaurant called Bagger Dave's Burger Tavern.
Pretty good. Pretty good Bloody Mary and, yeah, good fries. Burgers were good.
Let's talk about those nachos real quick.
Oh,
Holy
yeah,
good
nachos.
God. I mean, the nachos were so good that I actually asked our waitress what kind of chips those were. Because they were so good.
Yep, and then she said they made them there, so.
That does not make me happy. Because I was going to go out and buy a bag of those somewhere, you know. Like if you see a lot of these restaurants will get stuff from like Gordon food stores or, you know, something like that. One of those big distribution companies. And I thought maybe I could go to Gordon's and find those chips. But no, they make them right there. So you know what that means?
Gotta go back.
Gotta go back. I got to look up and see if there's any locations actually not 4 hours away from us.
Okay. I bet that's the only one, but I don't think it's a franchise.
You don't think it's a franchise?
Mm-mm.
All right. It's on my list of to-do things. Check out how close Bagger Dave's is. When you shit up, there was one in Fort Wayne?
Yes.
So, hanging out here, are you nervous? Are you nervous to do that? You've done a show with me before, and we covered the Willow's Weep house down there in, I can't remember the name of the town now. My goodness.
Southern Indiana somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember either. But no, I'm not nervous.
All right. Well, you keep rocking in your chair. That's what makes me...
A little chilly.
It's a little chilly in the studio.
A little bit, but that's all right.
I don't even know what I got the heat set to. Never been out here in a minute.
It's true.
Spent a Sunday with the Murder Nerds out here, and that was the last time I've been out here. So everything else is in the inside studio. This is the outside studio. So listen, we are in the middle of building this deck around our house. I think we've talked about it on past episodes of different podcasts. And the deck actually extends about 12 foot out from the house on the one side where there's a tree. And I want to build a ramp that goes up in the tree and then have a tree house in the tree. And I'm going to call that Studio Tree.
You're just so weird.
But somebody won't let me have it. Can I have it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Listen, listeners, Studio Tree. Doesn't it sound amazing? It'd be a tree house studio. The Wi-Fi should reach out there. Should be fine.
Oh, my gosh.
You can imagine recording an episode of Indiana Chiefs fans out there? How brilliant would that be? I got nothing, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing.
She is not giving an inch on this one. She says...
All his bright ideas.
They're brilliant. I'm brilliant. I'll bet we'll get some emails. United States of Paranormal at gmail.com. Let me know if I should have Studio Tree. They're going to love it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
All right. Well, you ready to get into this today?
I sure am.
You got some football to go watch. We're record this early Sunday morning.
Yes. It is Sunday and it is football day.
Who are you rooting for today?
Oh, it's always the Chiefs.
Always?
Always.
It's always the Chiefs.
Don't care about any other game. Just want them to be good games.
Watchable. You don't want to root for any other team? There's no other team that you were like, man, if the Chiefs are not on, this is who I'd watch.
I root for all other teams to lose.
Oh, my God. There's like a 50-50 deal,
I know.
Only about 50% are going to lose today.
It depends what division they're in. I love the Eagles, but I always root for them to lose because I want them to have a worse record than the Chiefs, So that's how I look at things.
But
the only reason I love the Eagles is because of Kelsey. So
Jason Kelsey
yes.
is the center for the Eagles,
yes.
Whereas Travis Kelsey is the tight end for the Chiefs for all those non-football paranormal people out there.
Yeah,
There's
kind
probably
of off topic. What the hell are you talking about football for? This is paranormal.
Paranormal. Well, there you could throw in the paranormal superstitions of watching football.
Really?
I mean, you could.
You could.
I mean, the superstitions are kind of, paranormal-ish.
Ooh, that would be a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I ought to think about that and see what I can come up with.
Yep. Cryptids and all that kind of stuff, and you add in,
the superstitions of football.
Or just superstitions in general.
You only sit in a certain spot while the game's on.
Only wear a certain pair of socks or...
Yep. You do not wear... I had a superstition for a long time that you don't wear any of that team's gear, of the Chiefs gear. I won't touch anything that was Chiefs all day Sunday. That was a superstition of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
I always wear Chiefs stuff on Sunday.
I know.
I might take it off halfway through the game, but...
Yes, we can definitely...
God damn it, I made them lose. I wore that shirt.
I'll never wear that shirt again. But you wear a shirt and they win, and you wear the shirt again the next week and they win, so now you automatically have to wear that shirt every time.
Yeah, until they lose. And then you think it's bad luck.
And then you wear that shirt to the AFC Championship game in Kansas City and they lose, and you just don't wear that shirt no more.
You're bad luck.
I am not bad luck.
I think I'm 5-0. 4-0.
4-0.
I'm 4-0 going to Chiefs games.
So
what are you?
4-2.
I win.
So basically, there's another superstition. I'm not allowed to go to a Chiefs game without you.
Exactly, because the two you went to without me, they lost.
It's true. Okay. So there you have it. Anyways, I need those emails. United States Paranormal at gmail.com. Do I build studio tree?
And fall out of it and hurt yourself.
That's just mean. I wouldn't fall out. I'd put up railing.
Whatever. Get on with your story, mister. Come on.
All right.
Talk me into stuff in front of an audience. How rude.
This is the best place to try to talk you into stuff.
Nope.
Oh, come on. We're so close. Email me. The United States Paranormal at gmail.com.
Logan, do not email her.
It'll be great. Studio tree. Super excited. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, enough about studio talk. Let's get into today's story. Are you ready to talk about Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
Oh my goodness, you can't even say it. Trans-Allegheny.
Allegheny.
Allegheny.
What'd I say? Allegheny?
Something. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Say it again.
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
There you go.
There it is.
That is it.
Sounds so much more sexier when I say it.
Oh my goodness. Well, what if I did it in a deep voice?
Yeah.
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. No, I still did it wrong,
weird.
didn't I?
Weird.
Oh, no, it sounded brilliant.
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 Okay. All right.
All right, well, this particular place is located in Weston, West Virginia. It was actually once known as the Weston State Hospital. So if you're kind of looking for more information, you can either put in Trans-Allegheny, or you can put in Weston State Hospital. It actually opened back in 1864.
Wow.
Can you imagine? It was the original intention of it was to serve as a safe haven for the for those with mental illness. It was actually brilliant because they built it with just 250 rooms.
Okay.
And each room was designed for a single patient. And they had tons of windows and sunlight. And a lot of them said that was because they wanted that therapeutic sunlight therapy, type thing. So they did it with just 250 rooms, nice sized rooms where everybody could, be comfortable when they're in there. But I suppose if you're mentally insane and you're not really overly comfortable, but they were being treated, right? It was that look you're giving me right now, like, should I be treated for studio tree illness?
Exactly. Put you in there.
Commissioned by the Virginia General Assembly in the 1850s, it followed the design of a Thomas Kirkbride. He was, at that time, he was the superintendent of the Pennsylvania Hospital for the Insane. It was an interesting design because it was kind of a Gothic tundra style, had long wings, and each room was staggered. And so, he really designed it so that, it was private. If you were in a room, you couldn't look out your door and look right across your hall. So, everything was kind of staggered a little bit so you couldn't see anything. But so they called it the Kirkbride plan, whereas nobody knew anybody in there. So it was like I don't know, it was only strangers. So there was no family or anybody that these patients knew. They were there to try to heal themselves, so they wouldn't allow any outside influences of family or friends or anything like that. So they didn't allow them to get mail or, weren't allowed visitation from family or friends. So once you were in there, you were kind of in there to heal. There
Okay.
you go. The outbreak of the Civil War stopped the construction in 1861. So what they had built actually became Camp Taylor for the Union armies. And so they actually had a whole barracks just set up just for the Union Army there, until the Confederate raided it in 62 or 63, where they cleaned the place out. They took everything. They took all their backup foods and all their supplies and everything that they had, there while they were building it. They just took everything. Nothing?
Nothing. I have nothing.
You have nothing on that?
I don't.
Can you imagine what that was like back then?
No, I can't.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. The first patient was admitted in October of 1864. It was a housewife with domestic trouble. That's why she was...
And she was a lunatic because of that, huh? Married to a bad husband, so let's put her in the lunatics.
And I think that was it, because there's a long list of things that they would put him in there for. If, like, she was admitted for grief, congestion of the brain, feebleness of an intellect, seduction, and novel reading.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's why they admitted her. That's what was written on there. You can actually go back and look at the old records from back then, and these are some of the things that they admitted people on. And there is a laundry list, and some of them are just crazy. I forgot the paper that had the list on it. I was going to read a couple off, but I mean, just stupid stuff like, she won't do the dishes. She must be mentally insane. Just shit like that.
And I'm sure most of the people being put in there were women because of that reason. They were like, why should I do it? Why isn't he doing it? Why can't I read a book?
Why do I have to put the toilet seat down? Why can't you put it down? I have to put it up. This is an ongoing argument since yesterday in my household.
Sarah started it.
She did. The hospital was designed for self-sustain, so they had their own vegetable garden, so they raised their own vegetables. They had a dry herd, which I'm assuming is...
Cows?
I would think so. They had an ice plant, a plant that produced ice.
Ooh.
They had a nearby coal mine for heat and other stuff that they use coal for. And they had a reservoir for water right there. So everything was self-sustained. Oh, and all the clothes and all their clothes and all their linens and all that stuff were made right there in Weston. So they just brought that stuff in. So everything was right there.
Nice.
So you remember I said that it was designed for about 250 patients.
Correct.
It's a single room. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
By 1881, there was more than 700 patients housed in that building.
That's crazy.
It gets worse. In 38, there were 1,600. By 49, there was 1,800. And at its peak, there was over 2,600 people housed in that building. That means they were stacking them up 2, 3, 4, 5 a room. So pretty much out the window with the whole
seclusion
and all that shit. It's like, oh, here you go. You're going to be rooming with these 5 other people now.
Who are all supposedly crazy. And yeah, that doesn't even sound like...
Doesn't sound like a good time, does it? No, it sounds pretty bad. Because there was no medicine to treat patients with mental illness at that time, patients were treated with other forms of treatment like ice water baths, seclusion cells, and electroshock therapy.
Yep. I don't even know how back in those days they would figure out that you were crazy. But
Well, I mean, I think it'd be pretty obvious if you're
Not doing the dishes.
If you're not doing the dishes or sweeping
You're
my
nuts.
floor, then you need to you need to be replaced with somebody who will, and you need to go in the mental hospital.
Yeah.
The hell, you can't be independently thinking. What is your problem? Just put the toilet seat up when you're done. Oh yeah, I'm gonna catch all kinds of hell for that. That's the United States Paranormal at gmail.com. So there was a lot of things going on. Like I said, 2,600 patients. In the 1950s, it became the place of what they called the West Virginia Lobotomy Project. Do you know what a lobotomy is?
Yeah, they put holes in your brain.
Yeah, let me explain.
Release something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Release the lunacy.
You just got to get it out. Get it out. Be gone, demon. It was headed up by a Dr. Walter Freeman, and they called him the father of the lobotomy. And he conducted well over, I don't know, this said 100. I think there was thousands. I can't imagine with the way that he was doing it. The lobotomy is when you take an ice pick. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. You insert it above the patient's eye, and you hammer it in so as to sever the connection to the frontal lobe. It was known as the miracle cure before there was proper meds. It's the miracle cure.
Yeah.
There were some risks to the lobotomy.
No. Blindness? I don't know. Hit my eye. Is that one of them?
No, but that was good. I didn't even think about blindness. I mean, I would think the blindness would be a big one.
You would think that, like, right in there would be, like, things that go to
Oh, yeah. I would think that you...
But
we're talking about the guy that's...
more lunacy would be...
some of the risks were epilepsy, hemorrhaging, brain abscesses, dementia, and death.
Jesus.
Think about that for a minute.
We're going to cure you? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
we killed you.
Shit, you're dead.
You're
well,
dead.
that's part of that is a cure, right?
Yeah. Supposedly, I guess.
In 1960, the medical center was built on the property, which actually included the morgue. This is where actually most of the lobotomies took place. Some say that Freeman would do several lobotomies at one time that would take about 3 to 4 minutes per patient. And of course, each one of these is without patient consent. So they would just wheel them in, throw them up on the table, strap them up. Ting, 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 ting. Most, some say that these lobotomies were actually performed on kids as young as 4 years old. How do you decide that a 4-year-old has mental illness?
I don't know. How do we decide that an unruly kid nowadays has whatever they call it, ADHD and all that kind of stuff,
I would think that at that young of an age, there's still a lot of hyperactivity, and you got to kind of let them play out their roles and let them kind of grow up a little bit before you lobotomize them. But what do I know? The doors for the asylum was closed in 1994. They cited lack of funding. They've been operating for more than 130 years by that time. And there had been more than 20,000 deaths in the wall, some by illness, some by suicide, and some by murder. I read that through the late 80s and the early 90s, there was a lot of like OSHA that came in, and that I think that was more of the reason they got shut down, because it was a West Virginia facility. I mean, it wasn't like it was privately owned or anything, so it was a government-owned facility. And I guess some of the reports I read was when they got there that the place was disgusting. I mean, there was feces on the wall and people sleeping in dirt, no beds and stuff like that, just sleeping on the floors in dirt and filth. And I would imagine that had a lot more to do with the closing of it in 94 than the lack of funding.
Well, yeah.
Because a lot of them, they just didn't care. There was some of the wings for the criminally insane, and they had wings for children, and they had wings for, there was so much involved in this building. I mean, it's a big building. You've seen pictures of it. Mm-hmm. So, and the maintenance was not being kept up, and it wasn't cleanliness. It wasn't clean at all. And so, yeah, just interesting assortment of, I think, things that kind of came together to actually close it in 94. So there you go. There's a little brief rundown of the asylum. Any questions at that far?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Yeah. How many people were in there at the time they closed, do you know?
It didn't say. I would imagine probably well overrun. I would think. But I bet you're asking, where's the good stuff? You want the good stuff now,
I want the good stuff, yes.
You want the good stuff?
Yes.
All right. So let's start with, let's start on the first floor, which was also known as the Civil War wing. They have there was a woman in there, and they didn't give me a specific year when she was there, but her name was Ruth. And I guess she just sat in the halls and just screamed at men because she hated men.
Well, it's because that's why she was in there.
That's a good point, yeah. But she would just scream and throw things at them. And to this day, she's still there. Even after she's long gone, she's still there. And she still hates on men and still throws things at men on the first floor.
Way to go, Ruth.
Oh. Wow. Really?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. In the show The Ghost Brothers, which, I'm a big fan of, they were there. And when the guys went down into that wing, the one guy actually saw a Union soldier standing up against the wall. So it wasn't the first time that soldier's been seen. He's been seen there several times, just standing there guarding the barracks, I guess. So I guess if you walk in there, you can see him.
Interesting.
Ward 2 on the second floor, where a man was stabbed 17 times. 2 patients committed suicide by hanging. Here is where a lot of the shadow figures and the footsteps and, stuff like that can be caught when you go in. There was an EVP actually caught there. Somebody screaming, "Get out." So that is Ward 2 on the second floor. On the third floor, you got the ghost of Big Jim. There wasn't a lot on Big Jim. They didn't tell you really much about who he was or what he actually does while you're there. But they say people see him kind of wandering around, along with a nurse named Elizabeth is also seen up on the third floor.
Okay.
There's a creeper can also be seen crawling along the floor in Ward R.
Yeah. Don't like those.
Can you imagine you walk in there, it's, there's a little bit of light from outside, say the moonlight shining through, and then you just see this shadow creature crawling on all fours down the wall.
No, don't like those things. I don't like, I won't watch like The Ring and stuff like that just because of that. Because that's freaks me out when people distort the way they move a little bit. I was like, oh, no, thank you. So yeah, that would definitely, seeing somebody just standing in the corner, an apparition or something, not moving or whatever, I don't think that would freak me out too bad. But yeah, something crawling around and distorting themselves and yeah. Ugh.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so and we're going to get on. There's a few more things on the third floor that just kind of odds and ends. But let me ask you this. So I personally work in a hospital. Okay, and there are claims of ghosts and stuff that are in that hospital. How do you know what's real and what's not? If you see something walk across down the end of the hallway and you're like, well, I don't know say that nurse, or that person that just walked by, do you know that it's a real person or if it's an apparition that just looks real? I was thinking this the other day when I was standing there because I've seen some things in that hallway on third floor that, out of the corner of my eye type thing. It's like, what was that? We've talked about this. Me and Alicia talked about it. I saw a black mass that came down the wall onto the floor. And when I turned my head, it wasn't there. It's kind of out of the corner of my eye. But as I was standing there the other day, I'm looking down the hallway because now I'm looking all the time to see and somebody walked past one of the far hallways. And I'm like, how do I know that that's the real person? Maybe that could have been an apparition of the ghost that just walked by.
Never know. You never know. I mean, hey.
So if you go into these places and you just see an apparition standing there doing whatever, how do you know it's not real? A real person standing there.
Well, I would suspect if you're watching a show or you're going in to actually look for something like that, you would verify that there was nobody else in there with you. You would account for the people that are with you.
That's a good point.
But when you're in a place that's just got people everywhere, you're never going to know if it's real
You're never gonna know.
Correct. Your shadow just could have been somebody walking past the light and, you just don't know.
That's a good explanation. I like that.
Okay, good. I am the reasonable one in this room.
Oh my God. Really?
Yes.
Really? You're the reasonable one.
I'm the reasonable one.
All right. People also hear loud banging on the pipes up on the third floor. Hysterical laughter echoes through the hallway. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I just got a hole put in the side of my head. Freaking laugh crazily.
People get grabbed and pushed up against the wall. People get scratched. And people very often see items moving around, chairs and stuff like that, and doors being opened by themselves up on the third floor. What do you think about that? That'd be the shit you want to see. You want to see a chair move, or you want to see a door open, or something like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things to ever happen was the torture and murder of Dean Matheny in September of 1987.
Okay.
They call it the bedpost murder. Okay. So Dean was actually in a room with two other patients, a James Wood and a David Mason. And Dean wasn't criminally insane. He was just having some issues, but he got room with these guys, and these two guys were pretty nutso. They decided that they were going to torture Dean, so they took the bed sheets, they made a noose, and they wrapped it up over top of the piping that are up in the ceiling, and obviously lifted Dean up. And then when he passed out, they would lower him back down. And then when he came back with conscience again, they would do it again. And they did this repeatedly over and over and over again. And then they got bored. So while one of the times when he was passed out, they took him, they lifted the bed, and they took the steel bedpost and put it on his skull and then jumped up and down until it pierced his skull.
That's terrible.
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
I can only imagine. That's lobotomies done wrong. James and David were actually charged with the murder, but get this. They were deemed mentally unfit to stand trial. Once again, this is one of those rooms that when you walk into, the heaviness and the sorrow, they say, is terribly heavy in that room. And they've gotten a few EVPs and stuff out of that room. I'm not sure what all they were, but yeah. That's just one of the more famous places to visit while you're actually in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you ready for the most famous and inviting ghost?
Inviting ghost?
And most inviting. This is why everybody goes.
Okay.
The ghost name is Lily.
Okay.
Lily was said to have been born in the hospital. They think that her mother was a patient who actually, when she came in, was pregnant at the time. I didn't find anything that said that somebody got her pregnant while she was, in the place. She was just pregnant when she got there.
Right.
This is actually back during the Civil War time. So Lily was born in the hospital, and then her mother committed suicide. The nurses took in Lily, and they took care of her. And then Lily actually was a resident until she died at the age of 9 when she died of pneumonia. But they say she stays there because that's the only home she ever knew.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Lily's playroom is where you can find her. It's in the east corner of Ward number 4. There are claims of laughter and cries, throwing of toys, and then people say that they hear her whispering in their ears. But best of all, she loves to play ball. So if you go up there into her playroom, there are toys everywhere where people have left all kinds of different stuff. But she will actually play ball with you up there.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool.
There is one EVP that they talked about where somebody must have taken up some crackers or something, because they got an EVP where she says, "Thank you for the snack."
Aw.
So, Lily is supposed to be the really cool attraction.
For people to go
there and have a little paranormal experience, but not feel threatened. Yeah, don't go up and look for the creeper. You want to go play with Lily.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Timmy from Waverly Hills. Mm-hmm. Everybody likes to go see Timmy. So, of course, if you would like to visit, you can. The address is 71 Asylum Drive in Western Virginia. They have both paranormal and historical tours. But they are closed. Right now, they're closed for walk-in tours. They have a walk-in tour season, which is April 6th. This is the upcoming. So April 6th, 2023 through November 12th, 23. You can do some walk-ups, but I think you have to wait a little bit. I think it's pretty popular. So it's better to try to make a reservation and reserve a time slot if you want to go visit. Historical tours leave every hour on the hour. Paranormal tours leave every 2 hours. The last first floor tour leaves at 5 p.m. and the last fourth floor paranormal tour leaves at 4 p.m. So if you're going, make sure you're in the right time zone. As we figured out time zones. As always, if you're going, make sure you know what the weather's like, because there is no heat in this place.
That's probably why they only do it till November.
Yes. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You can give them a call at area code 304-269-5070. to set up what you want to go do if you want to go visit. There you go.
There you go.
What do you think?
I think it sounds like a horrible place.
Doesn't sound like an exciting place to go visit?
No, I mean, that's a lot of people that place affected negatively. I don't think I'd want to go there.
You know, we've talked many times about like things of, attraction or where they grab hold of you and come home with you. I would think that would be one of those places that you wouldn't want an entity to follow you home, and because they are mentally ill, and I would think that would be something you wouldn't want to deal with when you got home.
Right. I don't know. I suspect that anybody that doesn't go to rest after they die is going to be negative in some way or not another, because there's a reason why they're sticking around.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a place like that where there was so much negativity inside of it, always between, building it for people that are not okay, and then the war and criminals, all that kind of stuff, then I don't know. Just doesn't sound like somewhere I'd want to go.
You just don't want to go visit?
No. I don't know why, but yeah, just...
I don't know.
Even when it was running, I wouldn't want to even,
I know, right?
If a family member was in there, I'd be like, no, see you when you get out.
Yeah. Wipe the feces off your face. Good God. I don't know. Looking into it, it was, the history of it's very interesting, especially being around the Civil War time and all that, according to my research, and what was going on back then when they started building it and getting into, I mean, there was a lot of people in and out of there, and a lot of people, 20,000 people died in the walls of that place, whether it be from a lobotomy or suicide. Suicide was, that was a high rate of suicide in that building. So right. It's just crazy to think that, we look at it now of, we have these facilities and they're very well governed as far as, the rules and regulations of what they're doing.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, yeah. I'm trying to be positive here that, that they are doing a good job in keeping those patients safe and clean and getting them the help they need. But to think back to, getting tossed into a room with 5 other people and hoping for the best. And if that doesn't work out, we're going to shove an ice pick through your eye. That's terrible to think about. Yeah. That's how we treated. We went over that with Waverly, the same thing. Some of the treatments that they tried to perform for TB, was absolutely god awful.
Right.
So, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting place. I for some reason I'm attracted to these lunatic asylums. Maybe because I live with you and you make me crazy. I don't know.
You live in your own asylum.
I do live in my own asylum. Wait.
We're not inviting anybody else.
We can barely handle ourselves.
That's true.
Oh, that's great. So anyways, that's the story. Thank you for setting in with me today, since Alicia couldn't make it. And like I said, Alicia will be back for next episode in a couple weeks. And we'll getting ready to spin into the new year. We're excited about things that are happening in the new year, and we hope that our paranormal family out there is excited to see what we do next.
Oh yeah, I think definitely. I'm thinking the supernatural. What were we talking about earlier?
The supernatural.
I can't think of the. Oh my God!
Wow, where's your brain?
It's got walked out the door. The superstitions. I think that would be a really, really good
superstition. That would be pretty cool
episode.
Right on. I like that idea. Write that down. Let's do one on
It's in my mind.
Oh, shit.
That has left the building.
She'll forget about it the moment she walks out
It's
of
in
the
the treehouse.
It's in Studio Tree. Once again, listeners, let me know. Should I build Studio Tree? The United States of Paranormal at gmail.com. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be lovely. She is looking at me like daggers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for checking us out today. You can find all of our socials on Facebook, United States of Paranormal. Also, go check out all of the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment network of podcasts, which includes the Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, the Indiana Chiefs Fans, and Murd Nerds. You can find all of those on social media on Facebook. Just type in facebook.com and Murd Nerds, and it'll take you right there. Or just search it. Yeah. Please give a little love. Don't forget to rate and review, too. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, give us a little rate. Give us a little review.
Yes, just do it.
Logan loves to read the reviews. He gets all excited. And he sends them out to everybody so we get to read them, too. So we appreciate them. All of our listeners out there who send in emails or IMs or reviews. We appreciate it all so much. Good or bad. We love to hear both sides. We want to know what we're doing right. We want to do what we're doing wrong. Maybe it's just the way I talk. Do and wrong. Good golly. That's what happens when you drive me all over God's green earth yesterday. I'm a little...
That was not me. That was your son. I'm Sarah.
It's all Sarah's fault. All right. Until next time, thank you guys. Rocker Chic, thanks for setting in.
No problem. No problem.
And remember, I'll see you on the other side. To support other Golden Mojo Entertainment productions, check out Golden Image Podcast, The Call Guys, and Murd Nerds wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. To see photos and find new episodes of the United States of Paranormal, follow us on our social media. Twitter at TUSOPPOD, or Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and Facebook, the United States of Paranormal. If you have a place that you'd like us to look into, or would like to share your spooky story that we can read on the air, please email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com.